But actually 10 metres down there is so much plastic. It's like you feel angry and upset, and I felt that someone had to do something. And on that first event we were carrying big plastic bags, we had no t-shirts, we were just normal people trying to make a little change. There's got to be someone at the bottom of the food chain. We're the bottom, we're doing the real grunt work, but we're happy with that, because when we look back at that beach and it's clean, I'm a great believer, if something's clean, people will keep it clean. But if it's dirty, people add to
it. This episode of Saving the Ocean is about Julie Des. She moved to Gran Canaria about 3 years ago and decided to give something back to the island. Together with her son Nathan, which we know from a former episode of Saving the Ocean, she founded Oceans for Life, an initiative to clean up the island.
We moved here to Gran Canaria because of my son's health. We moved him from England to here because the air is better. We're very keen, avid divers, and when we went under the sea, we noticed a lot of plastic. And then from that we then started looking at the beaches, and we realised there was a lot of plastic hidden in between the rocks, around the backs of the beaches. There seemed to be an issue where people weren't really getting rid of their rubbish. Even though the bins may be only 100 yards away, they tend to just dump it at the end of the beach. Yeah, there was like this anger, really, like an anger that you couldn't believe it's such a beautiful island that when you look down in the sea, looks glorious. You can see, it looks beautiful. But actually 10 metres down there is so much plastic. It's like you feel angry and upset, and I felt that someone had to do something. So then me and my son sat down and decided that maybe we should have a look and see if there's any beach cleaning organisations here in Gran Canaria, because back home there would be many, and we realised there wasn't any at all. So we set about it, made a Facebook page, set up our first event for a month later, and 10 or 15 people came, and we were so excited. And we spent the 2 hours picking up, chatting to people on the beach, and we realised that, you know, we could make a difference here. And on that first event we were carrying big plastic bags, we had no t-shirts, we were just normal people trying to make a little change. The next thing we knew, the Facebook page started to get more and more followers. So then on our next event we decided to take it one step further, and we did 10 of us went under the water in our diving crew to do the PADI dive for debris, and we had a crew on the beach, and we were like, wow, it's really happening. But then someone said, oh, the only thing is, Julie, you say you don't like plastic, and we're collecting with plastic bags, the big plastic liners. So then we approached a hotel group, and they provided us with their unused cotton bed linen, and we then got volunteers to make them into bags. So now when we litter pick, we have cotton bags which we then recycle later. And now 6 months later, at our last event, we had 200 people, and we all now have t-shirts, and we have litter pickers and gloves, and we now look like a team. We look professional, and we are doing a really professional job, and people are starting to recognise us, so they will say, oh, Oceans for Life, oh yes. So it's really, the momentum is really good, and we are very happy, and you couldn't do it without all the volunteers.
When you think about beach cleanups, it's more like fighting the symptoms, and it's more about just like such a small fragment of the whole problem.
Yes.
How do you relate to that, and what's your approach to get to this?
You can get really frustrated, and people could say, oh, we could keep cleaning because they're still going to bring the rubbish. We know that we have to go all the way back to where the plastic is, but someone else has to do that challenge. You know, you've got to accept that your challenge is just to clean the beaches. If you do that, and then there's another company or another organisation who is then going towards the people who are actually producing the plastic to begin with and the people who are using it, by the end of the day, there's got to be someone at the bottom of the food chain. We're the bottom, we're doing the real grunt work, but we're happy with that, because when we look back at that beach and it's clean, I'm a great believer, if something's clean, people will keep it clean. But if it's dirty, people add to it. We also go into schools because we felt that if we educated the children, then they are our future. Okay, so here on Gran Canaria, they're not as far forward thinking in recycling as we are in the UK, and it isn't anything bad against them. It's just they don't know any different. So it's an education. So we felt that if we go into schools and show the children how to recycle and the importance that every time they go to the beach they put their rubbish in and get them involved. So we went in with our nice cotton litter picking bags and they've decorated them. So now when they go out to a litter picker they can say, oh, that I decorated that bag. So you get them involved, you're showing them upcycling, you're showing them education, and I do believe if you can teach the children, they're our future, and hopefully then people will recycle more and maybe pick up more plastic from the beach, or at least they won't leave their rubbish at the beach, because the way we go in with children, we make it fun and educational, and by the end they'll run into the recycling bin to put their rubbish in there.
Yeah.
The education doesn't just end in the schools. Whenever we're at a beach clean, because we have our t-shirts on and people see us, they always sort of look, and then I always talk to them. I always say, oh yes, we are doing this Oceans for Life, and they are amazed. They are like, wow, this is such a good idea. And they're taking our number, our emails, our Facebooks, and it's spreading the word. So you're encouraging people to actually join, because I think there's lots of isolated people out there doing a little bit of cleaning, but not realizing that there's a whole group there that actually when you come together, it makes it like more heartwarming and more of a team, and you feel more like a family, that you're all trying to protect the beach, not just one person.
Nice. What's your wish for the future?
My wish for the future is no cigarette butts at the beach, no smoking on any beaches, and plastic straws completely gone on the whole island of Gran Canaria, and lots more bins at all the beaches, and people actually just taking their picnics to the beach, coming, leaving the beach and putting it into a lovely bin, please. So that when I swim in the sea, there's no plastic. When I dive, I would like just to see fish and coral and not cans and plastic, please.
If you enjoyed watching this video, give it a like or share it with your friends.